Magandang gabi sa ating lahat. Welcome to our podcast entitled Usapang Piluan. I am Emil, your host for today's video, and syempre hindi lang ako nag-iisa for this. Meron akong makakasama for hosting na very special. Siya ang previous Golden Retriever boy natin sa class. Khalil, pakilala ka naman.
Hahaha. Thank you, Amiel. Hola, I am Khalil, and together with Amiel, we will now introduce our special guest for this segment tonight. So, magpapakilala na siya.
Ako nga pala si Day, isang dormer, isang chill na guy, tapos isang anak, isang kapatid, at isang jowa. Ayan, yan lang muna. Hello, thank you for having me
Ayan, hello
today.
Dave. Oh, so ang dami-dami nating pinag-usapan sa philosophy, no? Marami tayong topics na pinagnilay-nilayan. And si Dave ang mauuna nating i-interviewin. Ano ba yung philosophy niya sa buhay niya? So, unang tanong, let's just say you named your phone Babe. So, yung Babe, yung phone mo. Babe has beaten down drastically over the years to the point that you had to replace all of Babe's parts. The question is this still your Babe or iba siya?
Pero yung case na to parang similar siya dun sa napag-usapan natin sa class about yung ship of disuse, di ba? Pero ano siya, in smartphone form. Kasi nga sabi nga ni Locke, di ba, dun sa napag-usapan natin na yung personal identity natin, parang nakatali siya or nakaugnay dun sa memory. So, hindi lang siya sa physical form. So, kahit na sabihin natin na palitan yung parts ni Babe, the phone, lahat ng parts niya, yung memory as well as yung emotional connection natin sa kanya, parang nandun pa rin siya. If nandun pa rin siya, then yes, Babe is still Babe. Bilang Marvel fan, isipin na lang natin si Iron Man. I know familiar naman kayo with Iron Man. And yung suit niya, di ba? Si Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, keeps on updating the suit. Lagi niya pinapalitan yung armor niya, may bagong design. Tapos meron na nga siyang AI tsaka nanotechnology. But still, si Iron Man pa rin siya. What makes it Iron Man is not the suit itself, pero Tony himself. His will, yung memories niya, tas yung personality niya. Ayun.
I like how Dave used Tony Stark and his suit as an analogy for this matter. I do agree that the exterior or material identity never really matters because we will all grow old and change. Ika nga, it's not the part that makes the whole, but the soul. So, unang tanong kaagad may pinaghuhugutan na eh. No? Eto naman, pangalawang tanong ulit sa iyo, Dave. How does the phrase mind over matter make sense? Or does matter over mind make more sense?
Both can be true, pero feel ko depende sa pananaw natin. Kasi kung ikaw ay functionalist, yung pagtingin mo sa mind, yung konsepto ng mind is just how a system functions. So, yung mind over matter works if something behaves like it has a mind. Parang regardless of its physical makeup. Ang marililate ko dito yung WandaVision. Pero dito, si Wanda, she created a fake Vision. Si Vision yung parang jowa niya na android, ganyan. Tapos, doon sa reality na yon sa Westview, nakaka-create siya ng perfect life doon. Happy siya, tapos under control yung grief niya. Dahil nga namatay si Vision in real life. Tapos itong Vision na to, he talks, feels, and questions reality just like the OG Vision would. So, kung titingnan natin siya from a functionalist na point of view, siya pa rin si Vision. Kasi nga, he functions like the original Vision. It's not about what he's made of, but what he does. Pero kung ano ka naman, nasa other side, ikaw ay isang materialist, only the physical brain exists. Parang emotions, thoughts, wala yan. Purely brain, chemicals, and processes. So, dito, yung matter over mind, siya yung panalo. Panalo siya. Example, yung WandaVision ulit. Parang spoiler ahead, kasi dun sa dulo ng series na yon, no matter how powerful si Wanda, yung mind niya, yung powers niya, yung fantasy niya parang nag-crumble, nawala lahat ng yon. Hindi naman sa namatay, pero naglaho yung mga anak niya. Tapos yung katawan ni Vision, wala naman talaga, patay na rin si Vision, ganyan. Tapos yung reality na yon, reality kicks in. So what's not physically real can't last. So for me talaga, yung matter over mind, siya yung mas nagme-make sense practically speaking and scientifically speaking. Kasi yung brain chemicals natin, siya yung parang nagpapatakbo sa atin, hindi yung mga feelings talaga. Ayun.
taray na sagot ni Dave ha, kasi yung reference niya talaga is like resonating doon sa reality din natin, yung sa WandaVision. Although na hindi ako enthusiast ng Marvel, but yeah, I get the point. Ang dami nga is, medyo na-vertigo ako. But yeah, sobrang agree din ako na oo, mahalaga sila pareho kasi they may seem parallel, but both are functional. But I strongly stand din talaga na it is really important to put the matter first so the mind can function sufficiently. Mahalagang komportable ka muna para komportable rin tayo mag-isip. It is good to be perceived by our mind, but also at the same time, we should resonate yung reality natin. May mahalaga din sa akin yung matter over mind. But yeah, we're not disregarding both of the phrases. So we are now in third question is which fury of the self do you most identify with?
Um, Feel ko self as social. Yung napag-usapan natin sa Philo. Kasi aminin man natin sa hindi, we're constantly shaped by others. Kung sino at ano ka sa buhay mo or sa bahay rather, ay iba sa kung sino at ano ka pagkasama mo yung friends mo. Pag nasa school ka or pag nasa social media ka, iba-iba yung character mo siya, yung identity mo. And kagaya nga ng sinabi ni Aristotle, humans are social animals. We can develop ourselves with others. Tapos, bigla pang pumasok si Rousseau, sabi niya, society can corrupt our authentic selves. Kasi nga meron tayong peer pressure, social media standards, tapos meron pa academic competition. Sobrang dami na nakaka-apekto sa kung paano natin tingnan yung sarili natin. And also, andyan pa si Adam Smith na sinabi niya na we build ourselves by imagining how others sees us. Pero medyo naging make sense, di ba? Parang nakaka-relate tayo doon. We may obsess over whether we sounded awkward sa isang message na sinend natin 2 days ago or 1 week ago, tagal-tagal na no, pero pinag-iisipan pa natin. It can manifest in many ways. Kagaya na lang din na pag dressing differently depending on kung sino yung kasama natin. So basically, hindi lang ikaw. Yung sarili natin ay parang nasa isipin natin na parang collaboration na nai-influensya ng mga iba't ibang tao, ng kaibigan natin, barkada, pamilya, at iba pang mga tao.
Ang ganda ng mga sinabi ni Dave na he identify himself as social. So, referring to Aristotle's philosophy na people are dependent people at the same.
There's one more last question, and it is, given the many theories of the self, Dave, which do you think most closely resembles a Filipino outlook on the self?
Yung theory na feel ko fit talaga sa binong Filipino, yung sagot ko kanina, yung self as social pa rin. Kasi ngayon sa konsepto pa lang nga nung kapwa, pati yung let's say utang na loob, di ba? Yung pakikisama, yung sense of self natin, hindi lang siya basta ako eh. It's not about me, kundi tayo o kami, we. So for example, sa pagpili ng program mo sa college, let's say ganun yung example, it may or may not be influenced by our parents or family members na tingin nila ay more practical na kunin natin. Kahit na hindi ganoon, hindi tayo influenced by that, still nako-consider natin siya. So basta yung mga gantong choices, hindi lang siya basta mga choices eh. These are decisions deeply rooted sa relationship natin sa ibang tao. Kahit nga sa maliit na or simpleng bagay gaya ng hindi pagkuha ng pagkain sa birthday ng kaibigan mo dahil nahihiya ka, and to other examples, makikita natin na we exist with and through others. Lahat ng pakikisama natin sa ibang tao, all shape our identity. Yun lang.
I actually do agree kasi I go by the saying na no man is an island.
Ang dami pa nating parts na natatalakayan. But unfortunately, that's the only time that we have for part one, which is self in philosophy. So ayan, at dyan nagtatapos ang ating part one. Thank you so much, Dave, for
Thank you
participating in this
guys.
Dave.
podcast. And thank you so much. Usapang philosophy one, so sobrang bilis lang yan. But wait, there's really more. There's really more to go. So ayun lang. Thank you so much, guys. Maraming salamat. Thank you, Dave. Okay, hello everyone, and we're back to our part 2 of Usapang Philosophy 1. Ngayon naman, may mga bago tayong guests for this segment. Let's introduce our guests. Okay.
So, ako si Sarah, your friendly neighborhood overthinker na mas maraming existential crisis kaysa sa units this sem.
Ayan. Sunod naman na guest natin ang papakilala.
Ayun. So, hi guys. Ako nga pala si Tristan, isang simpleng tao lang.
Grabe, simpleng tao, simpleng sagot. Sige. Ayan, thank you so much. Welcome to our segment na Usapang Philosophy 1, Sarah and Tristan. Ngayon naman, dadako naman tayo sa katunungan about morality and good life. But first, I'd like to quote before we start asking our guests. Okay, yung quote na to is kind of favorite ko among all. So, each of us is capable of figuring out what is right or wrong on our own by Immanuel Kant. So, ito yung paboritong quote among all of the philosophers. Siya ata ang aking spirit animal. Kasi having freedom is indeed subjective. Pero I like this quote kasi it gives us a chance to reflect or capable of thinking what is right and what is wrong. Na in the end, we are naturally rooted from our actions. So ayun lang, short introduction. So first question natin para kay Sam is, what defines a good life more? What you do or who you are?
Hmm. Alam mo, Emil, para sa akin, mas importante kung who you are kesa sa what you do when it comes to defining a good life. Kasi kahit gaano ka ka-successful or dami mong achievements, kung masama naman ugali mo or wala kang peace of mind, parang, hollow lang yung happiness, di ba? Like sa virtue ethics ni Aristotle, ang good life ay nasa pagiging virtuous, like pagiging honest or kind. Kasi yun ang nagbibigay ng true fulfillment. Pero syempre, sa utilitarianism, okay din ang actions ang nagdudulot ng greatest good. Pero paano kung miserable ka sa ginagawa mo? Depende pa rin yun sa values mo as a person eh. Because at the end of the day, kung sino ka sa loob, tulad ng intentions, principles at relationships mo, ito ang mas nagdadala ng lasting happiness. Kaya sabi nga nila, character over achievements.
But that's a very interesting answer, Sarah. Kasi sa tingin ko, nag-agree din ako dun sa answer mo. Because for a person to be who you are, it feels more natural than for a person who just does. Kasi parang fake eh. Kung wala naman sa feeling mo na gumawa, parang napipilitan ka lang. You're just forced to do good, or you're just forced to do things out of your will. So I do think now what you are can be more fulfilling than the latter. So after that wonderful question and wonderful answer, Sarah, dadako naman tayo sa susunod na question, which is for Tristan, you have a soldier friend who entrusted a weapon to you for safekeeping. Binigyan ka ng baril. So you promise to keep it and give it only to your soldier friend when asked. You also happen to have an activist roommate in your dorm. So kumari si Sarah.
Right.
Recently, your soldier friend found out about your roommate that is an activist and demands that you give back the weapon to him. So what would be your answer? Would you give it back to your soldier friend as promised?
Now, if I choose to give the gun back, that would basically align myself yung sa duty-defined morality, as it was my duty in the first place that us between friends to uphold that promise that we had each other, yung pagbalik ko sa kanya ng baril. Um, but there is also a risk that if I give the gun back, it will be used against my roommate or even to myself. So sa scenario na to, it also aligns with the theory of autonomy by Immanuel Kant, as every one of us is capable of figuring out what is right or wrong and wrong by the individual itself. So kung alam mo namang mabait yung kaibigan mo, you can trust him. So ganun.
Thank you sa sagot, no? Yung question very complex siya and very, I could say, in a very gray area. Tapos yung sagot naman ni Trishan is, I like how he answered it considering both the sides. Kasi okay, kaibigan mo siya, pero at the same time, it's like you have a promised duty to 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 your service or to your occupation. So maganda rin na binabanggit niya yung reference na si Emmanuel Kant, which is I have na-preempt ko ata kanina. But anyway, ang ganda din nun kasi um, ang daming tinitimbang natin kung ano yung mali at kung ano yung tamang gawin. Tapos inaalign din natin kung ano yung moral natin sa mga decision natin. So I like how Dave tuloy. I like how Tristan answered the question very complex, but also at the same time, knowing himself and knowing what he stands for. Anyway, dadako naman tayo sa pangatlong tanong para kay Sarah. So, pangatlong tanong natin, if everyone has their own definitions of right and wrong, is there need to argue about morality?
Hmm. For me, oo. Dapat pa rin natin pag-arguhan ang morality. Iba't iba man ang values natin, may mga bagay na halos lahat tayo sumasang-ayong mali. Tulad ng pagpatay o pagnakaw, di ba? Kahit sabihin ni Nietzsche na walang absolute good or evil, may pakiramdam tayo ng tama at mali. Kapag may nakitang injustice, di ba natural sa atin mag-react? Di pwedeng, okay lang yan, opinion mo yan eh. Kapag may nasasaktan, kailangan mag-usap, mag-intindihan at humanap ng common ground para sa respeto, para sa kapayapaan. Kaya, mag-argue pa rin tayo about it, pero dapat may pakikisama at pagmamalasakit sa kapwa.
Uh, I really like your answer, Sarah. Kasi parang papakinggan ko din sa mga relationships is communication is essential. Kahit yung isang tao, feeling niya tama, yung isang tao din, feeling niya din tama, if you don't communicate and you close yourself from, each other's opinions, dun nagkakaroon ng parang away, tapos galit sa isa't isa, edi wala na din tayong napupuntahan, di ba? So, I do agree with your answer wholeheartedly kasi communication is definitely essential. So, thank you for that answer, Sarah. I would like to move on to another question for Tristan, which is, which moral theory do you think Filipinos subscribe under? Should that be the case?
Um, okay, so I think kahit sobrang patriarchal ang culture natin or society natin, I think makikita rin natin ang feminist ethics of care sa Filipino setting. Kasi parang may pakialam tayo sa parang kalagayan ng isang tao when we make a decision. Especially kung strong yung relationship mo with that person, like pamilya mo, nanay mo, or kapatid mo, or ano, even jowa mo, for example. So, yun nga, going on to that jowa, for example, nag-date kayo, usually at the end of the day or bago kayo part ways, magtatanong kayo, kamusta yung or like, how was it? So, parang dun pa lang, pinapahalagan natin yung parang kalagayan ng isang tao when we like decide on things.
And si Sarah naman, si Sarah ba, merong siyang sagot with this question?
Siguro, kala ko kay Tristan lang, pero sige. Sa tingin ko, dominant din ang utilitarianism sa moral compass nating mga Filipino. At isang proof dyan ay yung culture ng mga OFW. Nagsisacrifice sila sa ibang bansa. Halimbawa, mga nanay na nag-abroad para lang makapagpadala ng pera, tinitiis nila ang loneliness, abuse, unfair labor sa ibang bansa para sa greater good ng pamilya. Kitang-kita din yan sa four-piece kung saan mas importante ang collective welfare kaysa sa personal na kaligayahan. Pero, yung follow-up question, dapat ba to? Oo naman. Pero, malaking problema rin kasi nagiging normalized ang suffering. Parang martyrdom na lang. Imbes na i-demand ang karapatang sahod o protection dito, nagtitiis na lang tayo. Dapat panatilihin ang bayanihan spirit, oo. Pero isabay din natin ang paghingi ng sistemang hindi nangangailangan ng sakripisyo.
Yeah, thank you for your answer, Sarah. No? Maganda yung mga nabanggit ni Sarah na um, priorities, consideration talaga ng different aspect. Dami pwedeng consider. So maraming maraming salamat po sa sagot ninyo. At maraming maraming salamat sa participation. Unfortunately, that's the only time that we have for this segment too. But yeah, I'd like to reflect on the discourse ba? Discourse that we had tonight pala, sorry. Na maganda na we find the common ground and we have things to consider talaga. Now, parang for me is like aside from philosophy, the world is not like black and white always, but it's a gray area where you consider a lot of things. So, yun yung nagustuhan ko sa talakayan natin ngayong gabi, na to consider every aspect of philosophy in our.
It's just
Si
like
Khalil ba,
what is
merong
good.
reflection?
Yeah, actually nag-agree ako dun na parang gray area siya kasi morality questions how we decide on things. It's either we choose our own or choose the others. But in my opinion, what is good for one person should be good for others. So we have to think collectively, diba? Parang I don't wanna be selfish. Let's also help others. Kasi gano'n naman tayo sa UP, diba? Parang bayanihan, Filipino culture.
Yeah.
So, thank you for the answers, really. And I guess dun na magtatapos yung ating segment today. Yeah.
Hello everyone, and we're back for another Usapang Philosophy 1. I'm Khalil, here again, and we're down for our last part kung saan naman tayo ay may mga katanungan about freedom. Papakilala muna tayo ng ating bagong participants natin for today.
Hi! Hi everyone, ako si Claire. Very excited to discuss this very important topic for today kasama kayo. Kasama ko naman si Kat. Kat, pakilala ka rin.
Hi everyone, I'm Cherry, your friendly kapitbahay na mahilig mag-share ng kwento at makinig din sa inyo. Super excited akong makipagkwentuhan with all of you today. So let's make the session fun and meaningful.
Yay!
Ayan. Thank you guys for introducing yourselves. So, welcome kayong dalawa sa ating mabilisang podcast. Our first question is, does anyone choose to do evil knowingly? Or are our choices made because we believe they are good for us?
Sige, ako na lang muna. Siguro pwede natin i-consider yung libertarian perspective na meron tayong free will. So, imply dito na consciously nating dinidecide, we consciously choose to do evil. So, I think it is possible even at the expense of others. So, halimbawa, someone in power, parang a corrupt politician siguro, might know that stealing public funds is wrong, pero he still chooses to do it. Bakit? Maybe because of greed, pride, or even yung belief na, okay, deserve ko to, so gagawin ko, ganon. So, that's a case where someone is fully aware that what they're doing harms others, yet they do it anyway. So, sa libertarian perspective, pwede rin nating sabihin, connected din dito yung idea ng pagkakaroon ng moral responsibility. Kasi may free will ka, and that means you have a choice to do what is right or what is wrong.
Yeah, I'm agree with Claire. So let us contextualize naman natin sa philosophy. Most people don't deliberately choose to do evil. Philosophers like Socrates believe we make mistakes out of ignorance, not because we want to do wrong. While Aristotle admitted that sometimes we act against our better judgment because of emotions of habits. Generally, people make choices guided by what they believe is right or beneficial, even if those choices cause harm because their perspective is influenced by their upbringing, culture, and values.
Mga sentimento nyo dalawa, it really considers both of the perspective, not only one. But yeah, maganda siya na you guys mentioned the choices of a person. Nakadepende din talaga siya kung maganda yung sagot din ni Claire na possible din talaga na intention talaga natin gumawa ng masama. Pero at the same time is maganda din yung sentimento ni Kat na ginawa niyang reference si Socrates tapos si Aristotle, which is meron silang magpagkakaiba talaga in terms of their philosophies in life. But anyway, parang ako yung ganap-ganap ngayon. Anyway, let's carry on to our next question. Okay, next question natin is like situational. One of your friends suddenly comes out. You then tell that friend that they should not act their desires. Your friend cries and breaks down kasi sinabihan mo na gano'n. So the question is, are you truly accountable for your friend's reaction when you thought same-sex relations were immoral your whole life? If yes, how? If not, why? Ayan. Medyo controversial yung question natin ngayon kasi very relevant to sa bansa natin. But anyway, what's your answer, guys?
Ikaw muna, Kat. Go.
Okay. So I think even if you sincerely believe you're helping by advising your friend against same-sex relations because of your religious upbringing, philosophy teaches that intention isn't the whole story, impact matters too. You may not have meant to cause pain, and your accountability might be lessened by your ignorance. But once you realize your words have hurt someone, you become responsible for reflecting, learning, and growing. True morality calls for empathy and the willingness to change when faced with the suffering of others.
Maraming salamat sa pag-share ng perspective regard sa question natin. Pero kung ganito yung case natin, in Filipino context kaya, like, do you guys think Filipinos side more with libertarianism or determinism or some other view on freedom mentioned in this topic? Like, in Filipino context.
Ako na lang muna. I think Filipinos hold a unique blend kasi of views on freedom. While there's belief in personal responsibility and free will, many Filipinos also recognize the role of faith, God's will, and the importance of family and community. We don't fit neatly into just one philosophical category like libertarianism or determinism. Instead, our choices are shaped by a balance between individual freedom and our responsibilities and relationships. Ultimately, what matters most in Filipino culture is yung compassion, respect, and yung harmony with others. Iyon.
Okay. Nasa same belief din ako. Although I think mas tama siya. Very complicated kasi yung context ng Filipinos. Kasi kung titignan natin sa history, malaki yung we always draw on how we resisted oppression, and that's why we have free will. So meron siyang pagka-libertarian, but at the same time, it's also determinist in a sense na um, we feel free, pero pagdating sa forces outside of our capacity, lagi natin sinasabi, halimbawa, ano, okay, bahala na si Lord, o yan ang nangyari, wala na tayong magagawa. And yung ganong thinking, I think, may pagka-fatalistic siya na mm, laging nare-relate din sa Filipino thinking. So, ayun, it really depends. Ultimately, it really depends sa context na pinag-uusapan, sa specific context. Um, meron kasing, and pagdating sa freedom, it depends on, halimbawa kung pagdating ba sa emotional freedom, do we express enough of our feelings and our identities without shame, without it being tied to our beliefs? Or pagdating naman sa social freedom, halimbawa, um, how much do we really participate in society para masabing meron talaga tayong freedom. It depends din talaga sa context and sa mindset natin.
That is
Kasi okay. In Filipino context is sobrang diverse din talaga kasi ng culture natin is like yung perspective natin hindi lang talaga isa. Of course, sa other world din talaga, sa other world, hindi sa other country din, ganun din sila ka-diverse na we don't say or hindi lang isa yung philosophy natin na pinanghawakan. I like you guys answered na you guys are considering talaga yung culture, yung pananaw ng iba't ibang tao na pero it ends in a one point na we humans are capable in reflecting. We humans are capable in determining what is wrong and what is right, what is morally wrong for you, what is morally right for you. So, parang I like how yun yung pinaka-endpoint natin regardless of the differences that we have eh. And quote and quote nga is talaga siya sa context at depende talaga siya sa situation.
Yeah, actually, ang ganda ng talakayan natin. Thank you so much, Kath and Claire. Because I really do agree, freedom, di ba, Amiel, yung binanggit ni Amiel kanina, freedom does require morality because we can't just have our way through things. We also have to think about ano yung kapakanan ng ibang tao. Um, we we having freedom means that we can make or break someone. We have to morally align ourselves in a way that we use our freedom for the good of everyone. Because as Filipinos, we're all moral beings, man. So, with that, thank you so much, Claire and Kath, for this wonderful session with you guys and Amiel. So, dito na magtatapos ang last part ng ating segment. Salamat sa pag-join, guys. So, kita-kits na lang tayo next time sa
Ate
Usapang
Cherry, salamat!
Philosophy 1.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Bye.
you!
Bye-bye.
Thank you po! Thank you, Kat and Cherry!
Yay.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.